All summer long, we bounce around to different community centers, over BNBL games.
Just a talented group of guys that we've seen a couple of these teams throughout the season.
Wiggins with the one-handed block.
Wait for that one.
To win it, Mercer gets it to go, 3 seconds left.
That might get the showstoppers going.
Ball to the rim, what a play, great ball.
Well played. Both teams really deserve to be in the championship game.
Hello, Boston. Welcome to the Perkins Community Center in Dorchester for a matchup in the boys 15 and under division of the BNBL. As tonight we have a rematch of last year's championship game between the Titans and the Lee School. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner tonight, Seth Orensky. Seth, you know, BNBL, as we've always talked about, a little crazy. Summer League, things change. We just found out a couple of minutes ago the Lee School is playing the Titans instead of a different team. So, nice surprise for us, a rematch of last year's championship game. This should be a good one here tonight.
Yeah, you can't get much better than this. You've got a Titans side that has made it to 3 consecutive championships and only lost 2 players from last year's team that lost by just 3 points to the Lee School. A rematch of that. The Lee School has won 6 consecutive championships on the boys' side, 13, 15, and 18 the last 3 years, so you know that they're out for blood. And it'll be interesting, the Lee School finding out 5 minutes before, they've played a game already today. Fatigue could be a factor as this game goes along.
Yeah, it should be interesting. A lot of times the BNBL, these guys are used to playing back-to-back-to-back games because of different summer leagues, AAU, and so forth. But it should be very interesting to see if those guys' legs can stay with them throughout this second game for them tonight. The Titans obviously have fresh legs. And when we talk about the boys 15 and under division, we often see stars a couple of years before their prime, and one is Gerard Clark. He's our spotlight player tonight. And we saw him on the football field and the basketball field for Brighton, but he was a good BNBL player just a couple of years ago.
Well, you see it first off with his size. He was a player who was big as a 15-year-old, which certainly helped him, but he's a very skilled big, great hands, and you talk about his football playing abilities. He's going to go to Coastal Carolina, a Division I school, to play tight end after his senior season at Brighton, where he has turned into a phenomenal basketball player as well, helping them deep into the state tournament each of the past couple of seasons. And today we're going to see similar kinds of size on both sides, especially on this Titans team. This Titans team runs 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Those are the players who have maybe matured a little bit in terms of growing in their body, who can really dominate an age level like this. And I love the 15 and under because you see guys who are really getting a little bit bigger. They know the game, the principles, but they're sort of building as teammates, and this is a chance for them to really show off to some of the high school coaches in the city.
We're just about set to go, but our sideline reporter Donovan Burton's got an update. Donovan, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. And we've got 2 teams on the court in true Summer League fashion. It's a bit of a haphazard situation here. The team in blue just got off the court with another team, but they're excited to face the Titans, who've been on the road, also a bit tired. But both coaches mentioned a lot of good team basketball. In blue, they want to keep things contained. The last game had some crazy shots, but they're excited to be playing the Titans, who are a very well gelled together team of guys who just got off the road. Back to you in the booth.
Donovan, thanks very much. And just like these 2 teams just realized they were playing each other, we are in the same position. So, but it should be a lot of fun. A matchup of last year's boys 15 and under BNBL Championship, Titans in the purple jerseys, and of course the Lee School in the light blue. And we are just about set to go here at the Perkins Center.
And Pat, I think it's going to be really interesting. The Lee School was shooting a lot of threes in that first game. The issue is shooting threes. When your legs get tired, you start to fall a little bit short if that pass is a bit too strong out of the hands of one of the Lee School players. The other thing is you're going to see the Lee School play a 2-3 zone primarily. They started off the last game when they only had 5 players in the 2-3. This Titans team on the other side has 3 subs, so see if they try to push the pace in this one.
Good drive by the Titans, up and in for Mr. Clark. And he gets the first basket of the game. I think there was a delay of game warning. I think he might have hit the ball after it came out of the net. 3-pointer around the rim and out, and Clark comes away with the rebound.
That was Alan Nunez, the very talented player from Tech Boston, who made a big impact as a freshman a year ago.
That 3-pointer up and good. So the Titans come out firing early. They have 5 quick points. Start off the ball game. That was number 4, Maurice Smith Jr.
And talking to Will McCoy, the Maurice Smith, the coach of this Titans team, he said this was their year. They expected to win it 2 years ago and fell short in the final. Each of the years that sandwiched that one, they weren't quite so sure. But this season, with all but 2 of his players back, he expects to win the championship, probably against maybe a Lee School team with a few more subs.
Talked about Nunez earlier. That was him driving and scoring for the Lee School. That time, Smith Jr. no good from 3. And here come the Lee School down by 3 here in the early going. Nunez on the drive. Floater is good. So 4 straight points for Alan Nunez, and that brings the Lee School back within 1.
He plays at such a talented team at Tech Boston that brings back the majority of their players, but you can see with the younger team here, he's being a bit more aggressive and assertive, looking for his own shot. Typically, he's more of a defensive force when he plays in the high school game.
That shot missed inside by the Titans, so Lee School now with their first chance at the lead so far. Nunez for 3 around the rim and out. That's usually his shot. And quickly down the other end goes Clark, and the big fella with the 2-handed flush.
Yeah, that was a difficult play. Nunez all alone, 2 bigs coming the other way, nearly broke it up. And for Lee School, they've got to get back in transition.
Looks like we got a foul on the floor. That's going to be on Clark. That's his first.
Yeah, just tried to reach in right there at the elbow, nearly had the steal.
And the Lee School scores inside. That was number 10, Shaheem. So
Shai Odom just so long, able to stretch up with just the right hand and put it in.
floater no good, tap in no good for the Titans. Devontae Sweatman, and back come the Lee School. And that time Shaheem gets fouled and he'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, Shaheem, a really nice job there, sensing the fact that Clark, who now has 2 fouls in the opening couple of minutes, was coming in hard for the block. The pump fake is how he draws the foul there, and he'll head to the line for 2. 2 early fouls on the starting center for the Titans. We'll see at what point they potentially go to the bench. Odom a little bit short with his first free throw.
Shaheem Odom 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And still a 1-point lead for the Titans. And we got a foul on the floor. Looks like that's going to be on Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez just caught a little bit of the back there of Alexis Reyes, who was claiming he was in the act of shooting, but he's not going to get the call this time around. It's interesting right now. Clark is manning the top of the key. You don't typically see that from a team center, but all 5 of these guys can shoot and pass.
Smith Jr. for 3 again. 2 for 3 from the three-point line now is Maurice Smith Jr.
That just looks too easy. It's a kind of a slow release, but when he's been given that much space, he's shown that he's able to knock down the shot from well beyond the arc.
That one around the rim and out for Odom. Now the Titans looking to extend their 4-point lead. Terrence Clark for 3 off the front rim.
Yeah, I don't like that shot. Even though it's within Clark's range, there was nobody set up to potentially get the offensive rebound.
Odom looks like he got away with a double dribble, but scores the reverse lane.
He got away with the double dribble, but the finish was impressive nonetheless. And back and forth they go. Reyes on the other end. If the Titans can keep up this pace, the Lee School's in trouble. They're running way too quickly, and the Lee School's trying to keep up the pace. They need to find a way to slow it down.
And 3-pointer from the top of the key for the Lee School. That'll help your cause.
That's a 4-point play in the new league that they've had over the summer. That was a deep 3.
Yeah, let's roll this Lara, knocking that one down.
And it's smart here. You see the Titans employing a full court press at all times, trying to speed the game up.
Getting the basket and the foul for the Titans. Was number 5 for that squad, Alexis Reyes, and he'll head to the free throw line looking to complete a 3-point play.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous foul there by Akinyele. Crawford coming in underneath. Fortunately, Reyes and Crawford both okay, but it's a turnover that the Lee School couldn't really do much about, but it led to a 3-on-0, and Crawford trying to break it up at the last second. The good news for the Lee School is that they're only down 3. The bad news is that they haven't really been able to keep a sustainable pace. I'm sure Will McCoy is going to preach that during the next stoppage.
Still a 4-point lead for the Titans here with 5.5 minutes gone by in the first half.
This is a better possession. With no shot clock, you really can take your time.
Maurice Smith Jr. coming away with the steal. Clark inside the paint. Tough finish over the top.
That's great defense by Bowman. Straight up, trying to avoid the foul, able to do so. Just a better finish on the other side by Terrence Clark, who's imposed himself a little bit in the early going.
That 3 off the front rim. And quickly up the floor they go. Good finish underneath from Kyle Hicks. That was Devontae Sweatman with the finish for the Titans.
And it was a 4-on-2. Again, Lee School's got to get back in transition. Those long threes bouncing out lead to easy, fast breaks.
Long 3, again, no good that time from Lara. And somehow Joshua Roseborough hangs on, but that 3 no good.
Yeah, it looked like a wide receiver there, tiptoeing the line, somehow able to keep the ball in bounds.
Nunez, beautiful dish inside to the big fella Odom.
We can just stop the play of the game. You're not going to see a better feed than that right there. And Bowman, a nice job just putting it right over the rim.
Another strong drive this time from the Titans. And once again, that was Alexis Reyes. It seems like there's a bunch of guys on this Titans team that can take it to the hoop.
Yeah, and there's a couple guys off the bench who bring some size as well, who I'm sure will be looking to do more of the same.
I think we just got the play of the game. My goodness, Terrence Clark.
Better finish, almost as good of a pass. These teams are trying to show off a little bit. They know they'll see each other again later on this season.
Boy, that was pretty. All around, that was very pretty. Let's see if we get another look at that, guys. But wow, what a play. Here it is again.
That's a beautiful alley-oop, the two-hand slam, and you can tell he's really happy about the unselfishness there from his point guard.
Nunez for 3 off the back rim.
That's going to be 2 on Nunez, the first player for the Lee School with multiple fouls, the only player with fouls. And right now, if you're the Lee School, who appears to have added some subs since this game has gone along, so now they're up to 7, although we haven't seen either team sub. You have to find a better way to dictate pace. You're already down 10. There's 7 minutes left in this half. You can't let this creep out to a 15, 20-point game before the break.
Nunez on the drive, couldn't quite finish. And Clark back down the other end with another hammer on that side of the basketball.
That was a better dunk.
That was a better dunk.
He reached back with the right hand. I mean, he's having a slam dunk competition right now. This time the defense is back, but this is a 15-year-old who certainly is playing beyond his age around the rim.
Good block inside from Nunez, but Sweatman stays with it.
Love that by the little guy, not afraid to go to the hoop, and then sensing the ball was loose, get your rebound, go back up with it, as this has been all Titans over the past couple minutes.
That time Odom stops the bleeding with the jumper for the Lee School. 12-point lead for the Titans here, just under 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Green unable to hit that 3, put back no good. It looks like they're trying to alley-oop it to Green, and now here comes Odom.
Yeah, Reyes got a little aggressive, but now Clark's got another chance.
Oh, that went down. My goodness.
He's already shown the two-hand flush. Then it was the right hand cocking back, and then he went for the windmill. This kid is ready to be in a high school dunk contest, even a college dunk contest. He has legitimate ups. Talks about Gerard Clark in the open. Well, on this instance, Jeffrey Green is going to have to work on filling out a little bit, but he certainly has the body of a guy who could play at the higher level.
Substitution for the Titans as Jeff Green does take a seat. And now we get a timeout, I believe, by the Lee School. With a 14-point deficit to the Titans. And right now, that the fact that they just played a game, and I think also we got to think of not just the fatigue right now for the Lee School, but also your mindset. You go, you play a game, and then you think you're completely done. So you take your sneakers off, you're throwing on sandals, you know, you're putting a different jersey on, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, you got one more game. So now you got to kind of ratchet it back up again. Not as easy as it sounds.
Well, and it's not that they just played a game. They played a game at this community center that has turned out 3 teams in the past 5 years that have made it to the championship games, actually 4, and that consistently has good competition. I mean, the Lee School just beat a team that's coached by Eric Bradshaw.
Right.
And Eric Bradshaw doesn't need anybody else pumping how good he is, but teams that Eric Bradshaw coach are typically very good. And that was a close first game. So forget just the lack of bodies. I mean, they do have 7 for this game, but they're facing a team that's totally fresh and that has even more players than they do available.
Yeah, this has always been a tough sight as AC Nunez knocking it down from downtown.
But a tough sight that leads to teams that have success when they do eventually get to the Reggie Lewis Center.
And finish good up and under from Reyes.
Yeah, and the problem is they just have so much size. Bowman is the only guy who has any kind of size for the Lee School in today's game, and he's being constantly having to put himself against a bigger player on the opposite side.
Put back good that time from AK.
Bit too much on that pass for Earl Tucker. Couldn't quite keep himself in bounds. An 11-point game, 4 minutes to go, Pat. Really, the Lee School can knock down a couple shots like that one. They could keep this game close. I'm still worried about fatigue late in the game, but there's nothing to say that they can't get back into this game and really make a big game of it down the stretch.
Yeah, Nunez with another 3 as he starts to heat up. And that time, Terrence Clark unable to hit from 3.
Terrence has missed a couple in a row from distance, but he has the range.
Yeah,
That one's in and out. The first one, I mean, he's got some nice touch. I really like the game of Terrence Clark, and it's much more than just his ability to dunk.
Nunez from way downtown, no good. Here comes Earl Tucker. He gets the basket and 1. So Tucker will look for a 3-point play.
And Tucker's fully fresh, just off the bench. And again, another guy who's aggressive, who's going to the hoop. It's one of the few times in transition that it hasn't been numbers for this Titans squad. That time 2v2, but still, Clark a little bit bigger than some of the, Tucker a little bit bigger than some of the defenders, easily able to get to the basket, unable to complete the 3-point play.
Nunez for 3. That corner 3 well off the mark for the Lee School.
Yeah, and I didn't like this possession at all for the Lee School. They forced both threes early on. Didn't really need to. There's no shot clock because we've got to travel the other way. Lee School's got to calm down. They're going to be able to get threes, especially if they shoot 3, 4, 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Try to get the ball inside. Try to extend a possession. Look for an easier shot.
Good swing for the Lee School. 3-pointer still does not go down.
Yeah, they've missed a couple in a row now after Nunez cut it down to 10 or 11.
Up and under finish no good from the Titans, but that'll stay with the Titans here with 1:32 left to go.
But that's the kind of shot that the Lee School's looking for. Pass the ball around, you have the open 3, you pass it up, finally get a guy going inside, and they'll settle for a long 3.
Josh Roseborough with the trifecta, so back to a 13-point lead for the Titans.
This is a really good 15 and under game. Just a ton of talent. The two coaches, I'm sure, would like to work on the defense, cutting down on some of the open shots, but you're seeing a lot more talent at 15 and under than you would see at some of the other community centers and just some of the other places around the country. These guys have played together for so long, they know where to look. You've got a lot of good scorers on the floor, not just shooters, but guys who are able to get to the hoop.
That was Roldis Laura with that three, and Maurice Smith Jr. cannot answer. So 10-point game, just under a minute to go here in the first half. Another good swing from the Lee School. That three goes down, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point game. We don't have a number 8 on the roster, so we'll have to get that at the half.
Fresh legs. Whoever number 8 was, he got up even higher than any of his teammates, and it was a really nice jump shot.
.30 seconds left to go here in the half. 7-point game. Lee School looking to cut into this lead even more, but now the Titans with the ball and a chance to maybe even extend it past double digits.
I think we're going to get a foul before the eventual travel. 16.9 right now. You don't see much situational basketball in Summer League, but you'd like to play for the last shot.
Corner three for the Titans is good.
Or just knock down another three.
Josh Roseborough with his second three of the half. Back to a 10-point lead for the Titans here with just under 5 seconds left before halftime. See if they can get a shot off, and it doesn't matter. So at the half here at the Perkins Community Center, the Titans lead the Lee School 39-29, and so far, Seth, what we talked about in the open with the fresh legs and being ready to go for the Titans, they've taken advantage of it. They've been able to run up and down the floor. They've been able to score on fast break. They've been a little bit quicker, I think, defensively on their rotations. I mean, they've shown that their legs are just a little bit fresher right now.
Yeah, I think anytime that you especially recognize the fact that the other team just had to play a game, you're going to come out, you're going to be aggressive, and their size has certainly helped. Between Clark and Reyes, they have the two biggest guys on the floor who have been very aggressive, taking it to the hoop. They've been effective finishing around the hoop, and thus far, they've just been a little bit hungrier, and it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments the Lee School make, knowing that those legs aren't going to get any fresher as the game goes along. Without
question. Meanwhile, for the Lee School, they were able to especially knock down threes late in the half. I think if they can hit a few more shots from deep, because guys don't want to necessarily drive to the basket. If they're that tired, or if they're sort of just kind of going through the motions, I think the three-point shot is what's going to keep them in this. So they got to continue that in the second half, I think, if they want to stay within single digits of this Titans team.
Well, if you're going to continue to take threes, you have to do a better job of transition defense. The guy who takes the three has to immediately get back. Anybody else who's not crashing for the rebound has to get back as well. We saw too many fast breaks where it was 3-on-1, 4-on-2. You have to give yourself a better chance in transition defense.
Our sideline reporter, Donovan Burton, is with one of the coaches right now. So, Donovan, take it away.
Being here with my big man.
Hi, I'm here with Al Bronski of the Boston Titans. Al, what can you tell us about about your team there based on the first half?
Oh, the first half we're doing well. Our two big men make the difference in this game. They're pro material. They're going to have good scholarships to go to college, and hopefully we can win another title so I can get my 20th championship game.
And you guys just had a pretty big road trip. What can you tell about getting your team focused? What can you tell us about getting your team focused back here at home?
Oh, some of these players play for AAU, so they were out of town. They played in the Rutgers League yesterday, and they did well. Well scouted, did a good job. And these are the younger guys. The older guys, different story. Some of them play all over the place, really.
And your team has had some success, but also some setbacks in the past 3 seasons. What can you tell us about your mission going in now?
We lost to this same team three years in a row. And we started with 13s playing 15s. Then we played 15s playing 18s. So we're getting better. We're getting better. This could be our year to win it all.
All right, great. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Donovan. So certainly the Titans and the Lee School are teams that have played in championship games in the past, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were back in one of the BNBL Championship games this season. And, you know, as you mentioned in the open, Seth, the Lee School is one of those programs in BNBL that they swept all championship games last year on the boys' side. As you see, Clark missing another 3, so they got a target on their back this season.
Oh, yeah, it's everybody against the Lee School, and when you talk about everybody, one of the teams that has the best chances this summer to knock them off is the team that lost by just 3 points a year ago in the 15-under game. And this team's a little bit bigger. As you see, Alexis Reyes knocked down another 3. I'm sure that he grew a couple of inches between last summer and this year. Otherwise, he was just a ginormous 13-year-old. But also, this team is hungry. 3 straight championship losses is going to do one thing or another. Either you're going to give up and you're just going to get into that next championship game if you get there and expect to lose, or you're going to use that failure to your advantage and come out and just put together an even better summer this season.
Sweatman short with that 3, but Titans hang on to possession. Now it's Clark from way downtown, and finally he's able to knock down the 3 of his own. That was from Steph Curry range.
Yeah, and Terrence is clearly working on his 3 tonight. He can bang bodies down low, but he's trying to get very far from the basket, show off a little in front of television. And I think part of that is when you come and you play in front of scouts or coaches or all these different media outlets that rate players, you try to do a little bit more than you typically would. There's no scouts here tonight. BNBL, it's nice because it's a chance to work on your game without as much pressure, unlike AAU. The cameras hurt that focus, but right now he should be focusing on making sure his team wins. And with a 16-point lead, you can be a little bit more flexible with that.
Yeah, it's a good point, Seth, about, you know, when you go on the road with the AAU teams, or even when you're at home with your AAU team, it always seems like those guys are sort of under a microscope, as you see Earl Tucker knocking down that jumper. And when you come to the BNBL, because there are no scouts, like you said, maybe until the championship games, then you get to see some maybe college guys, but certainly a lot of high school coaches there as well. So you get to kind of see these guys just play free.
Yeah, and that's going to help these guys when they do get to the championship round because they're a little bit more comfortable. But it's also going to help these guys when they get to high school because they're going to have more confidence when they head back to high school, or when some of these kids head to high school for the first time, either this year or next year, and they're playing with guys who are bigger than them, stronger than them, who they've maybe idolized or looked up to the last couple of years.
Alan Nunez finished that one around the rim. Nunez again to the basket, count it, and the foul.
Well, he stepped out of bounds at about half court. No one noticed that, and then an unbelievable finish where he went through 3 different players, and this is just a guy who has no fear. Contacted by all 3, and Nunez plays like a Tech Boston player. You see the aggressiveness, you see the lack of fear, and I love seeing him be the ball handler on this team, be really aggressive. This is going to help him and Tech Boston a lot heading into next season.
We're talking about Tech Boston. They are going to lose 1 or 2 guys who are their main scorers, with Shamar Moore, who's graduated this past season. So Nunez could be one of those guys who steps up as one of the better scorers for Tech Boston. And right on cue, he does it again, finishing with a little bit of contact that wasn't called. But
and that's against Alexis Reyes, who's one of, if not the tallest player on the floor. Nunez has been the best player thus far for Lee School.
Reyes with a nice move to the rim. They call the foul on the floor, so that'll stay with the Titans.
And that's going to be there all day. As long as the Titans continue to look to attack the basket, they're going to find success offensively.
Nunez again out on the break. The putback no good that time from Odom. Here comes Sweatman back up to Reyes. Reyes going for the tomahawk jam. He gets fouled on the inside by Jeffrey Green, so Reyes will head to the free throw line, but he was looking to take down the house with that one.
That's a 4-point play right there. Shai Odom, instead of trying to just catch it and go back up with it, there was no one on his side of the floor on the offensive side for Lee School. He misses, and then he's out of the play, the lone real big, and that allows Reyes to look for the big dunk. Missed the dunk because of the contact, but easily able to finish. And Alexis doesn't recognize that he didn't make the dunk. Maybe just a little bit of wishful thinking there. So he thought it was a 3-point play rather than the 2 free throws. I mean, Al Brodsky knows a lot more about basketball than I ever will, but I can see his point about these guys being the two bigs having a chance to play at a much higher level. Both of them have more skills than just their ability to finish down low.
Terrence Clark, are you kidding me? Oh,
And they gave him a
relentless.
They gave
to
him
the
a
rim.
technical, I believe, because of the stare down with Bowman. But that's his fourth different dunk attempt and his fourth different dunk. I mean, he came from well outside the paint there, and we'll see Nunez take the technicals. This kid needs to be in a dunk contest tomorrow. And he's got 15, the lead's 15.
And Nunez hits that first free throw. You know, Coach Smith isn't too happy with Clark right now, not because of the aggressive play, but you know, sometimes just your natural reaction is to get pumped up. So there's sort of this fine line between staring a guy down and just being kind of jacked up. So sometimes those technicals, even if I'm a coach, I might let a guy get away with one like that.
Anything that happens in this game and in future games before we get to the championship game will be used as motivation. The coaches will talk about it. The players will talk about it before the game, texting each other. You don't want to give them extra motivation. Remember, the Titans lost last season. They're the team that has all the motivation. They don't want to give the Lee School extra reasons to come out on fire when these two teams potentially rematch in the championship game.
Green that time off the alley-oop. And once again, Terrence Clark hitting the three from deep. That's a good point, Seth. You know, the Titans should be going into the championships at BNBL if they do get there, and they look like they are one of the teams poised to get there as the underdog if they go up against the Lee School. That should be their mindset the whole way. And if you start doing, you know, staring guys down and things like that, that mindset might go away a little bit.
Yeah, trying to do too much there. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that over the last 9 minutes. We haven't seen Maurice Smith and Al Brodsky be very loud today. Typically, both of these coaching staffs are going to be up off the bench coaching a lot. I think both teams kind of sense that this game isn't going to be the best showing of how competitive these two teams are. But it'll be interesting to see in a couple of weeks what adjustments they make. I don't think both teams will be playing a 2-3 zone.
Another dunk attempt by the Titans that time. There's Earl Tucker who couldn't finish inside.
And Nunez able to draw the foul that time as Joshua Roseborough got in his way. I mean, Pat, if you want to put together a highlight package for the rest of the summer, you could just have Terrence Clark as 1 through 5.
Good shot inside there for the Lee School. Between Clark's dunks and his threes from about 35 feet, we can put a pretty good package together. Sweatman now for three. Good swing to Nunez from the corner. And looks like we got a over the back call on the Titans.
Yeah, just a little bit of a push in the back there. Believe it was Earl Tucker who's come off the bench. And right now, Lee School is really small with Isaiah Bowman sitting for a little bit.
Floater that time, good for AK from the Lee School. So just over 7 minutes left to go in the game. Back to a single-digit lead for the Titans after a 7-0 run for the Lee School.
Yeah, it was as many as 18, and now got a little bit of a contest. And immediately you see Titans slowing it down a little bit. We'll see if they try to get inside. And the last thing you want is one of those patented threes from Clark. You want to get a better look here. It's a little bit early to do the four corners offense, but that's essentially what they're doing.
Reyes lost it. It looked like he was trying to go up towards the basket, but I think it might have gone off the Lee School, so we'll stay with the Titans.
Yeah, there's also a little contact with Akinyele Crawford there. I'm not sure if they gave him the foul. And another alley-oop, an easy basket off the inbounds as Clark receives it from Reyes, and just a soft little dunk this time around.
That three that time short for Isaiah Bowman. Inside to Sweatman, who can't get the floater to go. Oh, Reyes, nice rebound inside.
I love Reyes' touch. A beautiful pass there for Sweatman, able to find him, and then a nice job following up on the rebound and able to finish from 2 feet.
Off the backboard, and now Coach Smith might get a little upset about that one.
I'm pretty sure that was goaltending if it had gone down. That ball was still within the cylinder, but that would have been a 6 different kind of dunk.
Terrence Clark no good on that three. And that's going to stay with the Titans. Good job by Sweatman in the fight for that rebound.
Well, Sweatman last year was one of 2 point guards on this Titans team. The other point guard has graduated to the 18 and under team. The job is his, and you have to love that hustle. 1v2 there, able to keep the ball in his team's hands with a 13-point lead. They've scored 4 in a row.
Reyes corner three is good.
That's a dagger. All of a sudden, you've got a
shot.
7-0 run one way, now a 7-0 run the other way. And this Titans team seems to have put their thinking caps back on, and they're focused and ready to go.
Reyes now trying to answer Terrence Clark with a thunderous dunk on that end.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen this many dunks in a 15 and under game.
Nunez, just so skilled offensively. He does a lot of different things on that end of the floor.
He's very crafty. He knows what kind of shots will be successful for him. Doesn't try to do too much.
Behind the back for the little guy and getting the finish is Roldis Lara.
We're giving all the credit to the big guys, but every single player between these two teams is extremely talented. So many different guys have the ability to score.
That three on the way and no good for the Titans. Good swing to Nunez. Titans can't hang on, so that'll stay with the Lee School here with 3.5 minutes left to go. Titans with a 14-point lead. And you got to think the Lee School is going to have to knock down a couple of threes.
Yeah, I mean,
just to climb back into it a little bit.
Got to hit threes, but also you're going to have to force some turnovers, which have been few and far between in this game. This is not what you'd expect with Nunez and the Lee School slowing it down. 3 minutes is a lot of time, but 14 points is a pretty big deficit to climb out of.
Lara for three, short with that one. Putback is good and did not fall for Crawford.
3/4 of the way down, maybe even 4/5, but
nice play there by Nunez. Get it right back. I thought that one was going to go down for him. He's finished so many herky-jerky shots around the rim, but he'll get 2 free throws.
I just can't comprehend this move. He's just so quick, he's so fast, so good at drawing contact. For a Tech Boston team that hadn't made the city championship in what, was it 17 years or was it 1987? I knew it had a 7 in it. I don't think they're going to take a huge step backwards. That doesn't mean they're going to be back next year. There's so many talented teams in the city. But with Nunez, just a sophomore this year, they've got a bright future in at least one of their players going forward.
Nunez now with 23 points to lead all scorers. That time the putback is good from Shaheem Odom. And Lee School takes a timeout, 1:54 left to go here in the second half. And an 11-point lead, and one thing I wanted to point out before is that Nunez was at the free throw line, and when you talk about teams that are trailing late in the game, you want to get to the free throw line because it, gives you 2 free throws, but also stops the clock. Now here in BNBL, it's running time until 2 minutes left to go. So if you're getting fouled and going to the free throw line before that 2 minutes gets there, you're wasting a lot of time off the clock getting to the free throw line and taking your shot. So this is the one instance where going to the free throw line late in the game and trailing is to your disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't anticipate that any of these teams have enough time and to actually get team practices, but if you're a BNBL coach and you do have that kind of time, you almost want to do the football equivalent or the basketball equivalent of the 2-minute drill and have players work on taking free throws effectively at a faster pace. You almost want to time them. You have 5 seconds to get rid of it, because typically you see a lot of players, especially players who aren't confident, taking their time, being extra careful. Well, that time can kill you in a close game, especially when trailing.
Now the Titans are at the point, because there's no shot clock in BNBL, you could do that form of the 4 corners, and now we have a traveling violation over there on Rakim Butler. But
yeah, that was good defense on the part of the Lee School. Reaching in, getting ball, making sure not to draw the foul there, because you can't afford to be going 1 for 1 or even 2 for 1 at this point. They need to draw some empty possessions from the Titans.
Nunez on the drive, couldn't finish that one underneath.
It's the right idea, though. Drive, if you don't hit it, potentially draw the foul. Either way, you get points and the clock stops.
So now the clock stopped with 1:20 left to go in the half. Lee School really needs a good possession here with at least a 2-point bucket.
Now you see some pressure trying to force a turnover.
And Odom had good position underneath, but couldn't finish it off the glass. Now on the drive and finish for the Titans is Joshua Roseborough. And that is a 13-point lead with 1 minute to go, and that might have sealed the deal.
This pressure is really causing some problems for these tired legs. And I really like the call from the Titans coaching staff. They hadn't been really pressuring the ball at all. And now with about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, they go into the pressure defense, and it's surprised the Lee School a bit.
And Crawford on the runner, gets that one to fall. Puts it down to an 11-point lead. But I think it's going to be a little too late here with just 35 seconds left to go.
Yeah, the Lee School can foul all they want, but unless there's a lot of missed free throws, this game is pretty much over. Reggie Miller's not coming off the bench for either side.
Nor is Tracy McGrady.
Well, T-Mac needed about 20 more seconds than Reggie Miller did, but I don't think any of these kids were alive or even cognizant of that game against the Knicks. They might know who Spike Lee is.
That's true. And they might know Reggie Miller because he's a commentator on TNT. And Nunez launching one out of desperation. That windmill would have been nice, as Earl Tucker tried to create a highlight reel for himself.
And instead, the world's longest rebound past half court.
So that goes out of bounds here with 5 seconds left to go. So the Titans will hang on to win this one, 66 to 57 here at the Perkins Community Center. They defeat the Lee School. And if you're this Titans team, you got to be happy with the fact that you just faced, unexpectedly, the team you lost to in the championship game last year, and you had a very good effort. Different circumstances, obviously, with the Lee School just having a game just before this one, but still, it has to give this Titans team confidence heading into sort of the end of the BNBL regular season and heading into the BNBL playoffs in just a couple weeks.
Well, it won't be the only time these two teams will face off, both during the regular season, potentially the postseason. But anytime you can get a win against a team that has caused you problems over the past couple of years, gives you confidence, it brightens your day, and it's going to help them in the standings. I mean, these two teams will go through the playoffs here before they get to potentially the BNBL Championship, so it might help them get a little bit of an easier game before they potentially have to face off against their rivals in the Lee School. And really, this game was decided in the first half. It ended up as a 9-point deficit. It was 10 points at the half. The bigs for this Titans team, just a huge difference maker. It'll be interesting to see how the Lee School comes back later on in the season and finds a way to slow those guys down, because they're effective right under the basket, and also about 5 feet beyond the three-point line, which is not easy to find a good way to guard.
It'll be very interesting if these two teams face off again in the BNBL Championships. Only time will tell over the next couple of weeks. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the Game of the Week MVP and our final stats from this ball game before we sign off from the Perkins Center. We'll be right back after this.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back to the Perkins Center in Dorchester. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, Titans took down Lee School 66-57. And a lot of guys on the Titans had a really good game tonight, and certainly a lot of contributions. But you look at Terrence Clark, the kind of highlight reel he provided for us, and certainly the performance from him. He shot the ball pretty well, but taking it to the rim, throwing the ball down probably 6 times in that ball game. He's certainly our MVP tonight. He also had double-digit rebounds, so getting it done on the boards, and he was a lot of fun to watch here tonight.
Yeah, he didn't have one kind of dunk. He had 4, 5, 6. Every single dunk was a different variety, but it wasn't just dunks. He hit some really deep threes, got some key rebounds, pushed the ball in transition. He was the guy that made this team run, and certainly one of the better 15-year-olds we'll see all summer long.
Without question, Clark is our MVP tonight. He is with our sideline reporter, Donovan. So, Donovan, take it away.
Hi, guys. I'm here with MVP Terrence Clark. Terrence, I think some people might be talking about those dunks for a little while, but you were all over the court. Great passing, great three-pointers. What can you tell us about your game?
I'm an all-around player. I'm pretty special. 6'5". I can do a lot. And in the game, I just really want to get my teammates involved and do anything possible to win the game.
Yeah, and I saw another teammate was up there, got his dunk in, and you were cheering him on the other side. How important are these guys to you?
These guys have been around me since about I was 10, 5th grade, so they're really special to me. I've been around them, almost around them every day, so I take them I don't take them for granted, because without them, it wouldn't be no me probably. So they push me out.
And what do you think about this year's championship? Are you guys gonna finally lock one in?
For the past 3 years, we lost a lot, but I think this year, we're definitely gonna win. It showed by today. We played good together as a team, and it's gonna lead into the championship.
And Coach, do we have any final words about that game from you?
No, I like the way we played. The court winners was good by Terrence, and he was looking for everybody to get a touch of the ball, and that's good. Good teamwork wins games.
And how are you guys going to keep this up for the rest of the summer?
We got a couple more games to play, and then we got playoffs next week, the week afterwards, so that'll tell.
All right, great. Thanks for the game, and back to you guys up in the booth.
Thanks very much, Donovan, and certainly a happy Titans team. Terrence Clark, who I think knows he's a pretty good basketball player around these parts, but you can see the kind of talent oozing out of him. And you saw Donovan made a good point there, as he said that when he was on the bench, when Terrence was on the bench, and a couple of his players were getting some chances to throw around the ball a little bit, he was happy for them. So you can see this Titans team, they do work well together. You got the Clarks and a couple of these guys that can score, but you also got some younger guys around the perimeter that can knock down some shots. So a pretty well-balanced Titans team.
Yeah, you see guys who are able to sort of switch roles, who know where they're going to be. Alexis Reyes and Clark are both guys who can obviously bang bodies down on the block, but we also saw both of those guys hit threes. Devontae Sweatman's a really nice little point guard, but we also saw him go to the basket, get blocked, and then pick it up and go back up with it. Everybody's aggressive enough to take it to the hoop, but you have 5 guys who, just like you're seeing a lot in the NBA, it's that same kind of trend. 5 guys who can shoot threes, 5 guys who can hit threes. Give some credit to Joshua Roseborough as well. He had a really nice game, creating some points. This team is not one player, although we do have a couple special players, as Terrence pointed out. And that's why they're going to be successful. They have good chemistry. They played together for a while, and they have really good and talented players, which is going to help you go far. Thus far, 3 championship game appearances, but it's not going to be as successful as they want until they can finally hoist that trophy potentially at the end of this summer.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun to watch both these squads as they head down the stretch. Let's take a look at the final stats from this game here from the Perkins Center before we sign off. And first up, it's the Lee School.
Yeah, no surprise there. Alan Nunez was the most aggressive player for Lee School. Shai Odom good as well. Nunez all over the place. Akinyele Crawford did a good job despite being a smaller guy with his 5 rebounds. And then the point guard, Lara, had 3 assists as well as Nunez tacking on 3 of his own.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Titans' final stats.
A little bit more balanced on this side. The 2 bigs leading the team in points. Clark with 20, 17 for Reyes. Roseborough, though, sneaking in with his 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And Clark just filling up the stat sheet. Had a couple of blocks and steals as well. He's a tremendous player, as he pointed out. You like to see the confidence, and that's a guy who knows that not only is he good, but that his team is good. And I like the fact that he emphasized that during his interview, that he doesn't take those guys for granted. It's a really fun team, and Pat, we might be seeing this team for the next couple of summers. This is a 15 and under team that's played together, 13 and under. Hopefully they stick it out. They're all together through 18 and under, as they could potentially win not 1, but maybe 2, 3, 4. Well, they can't win 7 like LeBron wanted to, but you get the gist.
And they won't be as obnoxious as he was about it either. I don't think they'll be throwing any parades or anything like that, over at the Reggie Lewis Center. But we'll see what happens. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games this season are up there. Last year's championship games are up there if you want to check those out as well. You can also follow us on Facebook. Go to Facebook and search for Game of the Week here in Boston. A lot of good pictures, videos, updates, a lot of great stuff. So make sure you like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag Boston GOW. We've got one more regular season game next week, then we have a week off, but the players don't. And then the following week is the madness of BNBL Championships over at the Reggie Lewis Center. But right now we're going to say so long from the Perkins Community Center here in Dorchester. Take care, everybody.